Right. Any locks on the doors? Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
Although the world is only just now learning about the wild freak-off parties that Diddy hosted, the first proof of such parties actually came out in 2022, and it could be one of the many pieces of evidence that could send Diddy to jail for life. But what exactly is this shocking proof? You'll never believe what's now leaking from years ago. Back in 2022, the Soft White Underbelly YouTube channel posted an interview with a woman named Tanea. The segment was on professional sugar babies, but it took a surprising turn when Tanea described how she had ended up at one of Diddy's parties. Tanea said that through her work as a sugar baby, she eventually ended up connecting with someone who she called an Arabian Prince. Who wants to bet he wasn't actually an Arabian Prince? The prince told Tanea that he could get her the right connections to start her music career. Becoming a hip-hop artist was one of her dreams. She was with a group of girls working for the prince, and everything was fine until he took her to a party. Diddy was the host of the party, and she could immediately tell that something was off. For one, there was a lot of talk about some big trip to Cuba. The prince and Diddy wanted the girls to go to Cuba with them, although they didn't exactly say what was going to happen there. They basically just said it would be a way to make those connections in the music industry. Tanea said that she had even met Diddy at the party, and he asked her if she was going on the trip to Cuba with everyone else. Now, Tanea didn't want to go to Cuba because she didn't understand what was happening there that couldn't happen in the U.S. She was also a mother, and she didn't want to leave her kids behind to go partying in a different country. So the whole thing felt off to her from the start, which really shows that she had some pretty good instincts about what was going on. The scariest part, however, was when she spoke to another girl who said that the prince and Diddy weren't allowing them to leave or have their phones. Tanea said that one thing that she does not like is feeling like she can't leave a place. Since she's someone who has kids and has things she has to do, the idea of someone telling her she can't go somewhere is a huge red flag. It was then that she realized that the prince hadn't bought her here to make connections in the hip-hop industry. He was trying to sell her to Diddy. She recalled the prince asking Diddy if he liked what he saw and even discussing a price for them. Realizing that they were trying to traffic her, Tanea got out of that party as soon as she could. She left the prince and went back to her usual gigs. It was a terrifying moment, and the fact that she was already talking about Diddy's freak-offs before that term even became a thing is very telling. It shows that Diddy was into some bad stuff long before the police started getting involved. Now, this wasn't the last time that the world would hear from Tanea. Once the news broke that Diddy had something called freak-offs happening at his parties, she gave another interview in 2024. This time, she was ready to tell the whole story of her experience at one of his parties. According to The Mirror, Tanea said that the whole thing left her traumatized, which is likely why she didn't want to give too many details about what she saw. She also didn't think anyone would believe her. She said that the kind of stuff that she saw happening at that party was so crazy that no one would ever believe her. It was like straight out of a movie. The only reason she felt comfortable about telling her story now was that there were a lot of other people coming forward and doing the same thing. With more voices, it seemed less likely she was lying about the whole thing. Considering the things she said, it's really not surprising at all that she thought that people would believe she was lying. So, what did she reveal? Tanea began her story as she did back in 2022. She said that she was looking to get involved in the music industry and was introduced to an Arabian prince. The prince then invited her to one of Diddy's parties. She attended thinking she was going to meet some big names in the music industry and perhaps make some moves for her career. Things were weird from the start, however. When she arrived with her friend, there was a guard at the gate who confiscated their phones. They put them in plastic bags and told them that it was because they didn't want anyone taking photos or videos of the party. While that's understandable from a privacy standpoint, it's also a little sketchy. Everyone was handing over their phones, though, so Tanea didn't put too much thought into it. As guests entered through the gates, Tanea discovered that the party was outside. There was a pool area where a lot of people were naked. They were skinny dipping in the pool without a care in the world. There was also loud house music playing with the volume so loud that Tanea felt like she was at a rave concert. The experience made her feel woozy, even though she didn't even have anything to drink yet. There was drinking, though, and a lot of it. Tanea said that even though it was 7 in the morning, there were a lot of people who were already intoxicated. There was even a waitress going around with a tray and giving people mimosas and other drinks. Now, while everyone was outside partying, she noticed that Diddy's sons were going around and handing white slippers to certain people. Those people were then able to go inside the house for a special exclusive party. One of the sons brought a pair of slippers to her, inviting her to the party. Tanea didn't want to go, though, because the friend she was with didn't get a pair of slippers, and she didn't want to go in there alone. Apparently, Diddy heard that she wasn't wasn't going to the exclusive party because he came out and asked her why. They ended up talking, and the topic of Cuba came up, including whether she was going to go on a vacation with everyone there. Tanea then said that Diddy's girlfriend at the time must have been getting jealous because she came over and put her hands on his shoulders. She asked him what he was doing. Diddy didn't seem to like that because he apparently shoved her away from him. Tanea felt awkward immediately and managed to sneak away from the couple. Now, that wasn't the only shocking thing that she saw Diddy do either. While she was at the party, she allegedly also saw Diddy doing some extremely adult things with the prince. She refused to say what she had seen, but it was pretty adult. Eventually, her curiosity got the best of her, so she decided to explore what was happening at the exclusive party. As she entered the place where the party was being held, Tanea was shocked. She said that she typically didn't judge people for their tastes, but she was completely blown away by what she had seen. There were people being filthy everywhere. In one corner, there was one couple doing something. In the other corner, another couple was doing something else. There was even someone laid out on a table. According to the Times of India, Tanea also claimed that she encountered little people who dressed up as dolls for the party. She said that they even had bright red lipstick on. It was so wild that Tanea thought it must have been some sort of production. There was no way that there were actually little people dressed up as dolls at Diddy's party. The more time she spent in that room, the more nervous she got. Tanea said that she was really getting worried that she was going to be hurt or trafficked or something bad was going to happen to her. She eventually left with her friend, but she said that the party experience really felt like you were selling your soul being there. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? What do you think of Tanea talking about the freak-off parties before the public knew about them? Do you believe her, or is she someone looking to gain some clout? Do you think her story is enough to send Diddy to jail? Let me know in the comments below.